Hello everyone, welcome back to the Stevie P channel, and it's pretty sad news this morning. Steven Kitshoff has announced his retirement from the game, but I'm more of someone who likes to celebrate things rather than sort of be a bit sad about what's happened. So I thought that we'd actually take a bit of a dive into Steven Kitshoff's career, and not a deep dive, just a bit look at a couple of highlights of him, and to speak about where he sort of ranks in the all-time greats, because I rate him top of the pile with the likes of Osterrand, the Beast Tower, for example. I've got him in the top 5 best props. So that because they ever produced, to be perfectly honest. 83 test caps is not something you sniff at. 2 World Cups, a British and Irish Lions series, and one of the most consistent performers I've ever watched in a Springbok jersey, in terms of somebody you can just rely on every single time. So I've got 2 videos we're going to have a look at. First one is his debut. And then the other one's some of the best moments in his URC. So not too much, unfortunately, in the box thing. Just trying to find the footage is quite difficult at the moment. So he made his debut back in 2016 in PE, now Kobega, when that decided against Ireland, which we won 19 points to 13. Very interesting. If you look at him, he debuted next to Bongi Mbanambi. And the second test for Franco Mostert. Remember, look at this team. Really Page coming off there. Jack Creel's on debut as well. I think somebody who probably would have also actually become a World Cup winner if it weren't for injuries. Julian Redding-Ace as well. I think probably could have been part of that World Cup squad if he wasn't forced into early retirement. So funny that those 2 players, it was debuting around the same time. Both also had to hang the boots up early. Julian Redding-Ace obviously much earlier. But an interesting team that he made his debut alongside. Steven Kitshoff and I mean, you look at some of this. JB Peterson still playing. The likes of Alton Yankee starting at 10. Warren Whiteley playing over there. Frans Maherba. I mean, remember those days. Good times, good times. But here we go. There we go. So that was some first coming on in a white jersey. So Siakalisu playing and I mean, also, I feel like him replacing Beast Tower was so apt, wasn't it? You know, those 2 were the 2 losers that won us the World Cup in 2019. When you think about how important that scrum was, especially in the final, for example, absolutely massive Arjun shots. What a legend there. But so I think those two. I mean, those 2 became such a mainstay, especially that combination of Beast Tower starting and Steven Kitshoff coming off the bench. It was a huge draw card that the Boks had, where they had that kind of quality. And first scrum, and Julian Redding here, Steven Kitshoff absolutely folding that Irish squad. I mean, that is. I'm gonna watch that again. Actually, that's just and again. To be honest, actually, this makes me really sad on Julian Reddinghace's part, because look at the decimation on both of them. Julian Reddinghace would have been a World Cup winner. I'm 100%. I think that he would have been ahead of, like, for example, like Thomas Toy in that World Cup squad. I think that Frans Maherba would have had a stiff competition from Julian Reddinghace. Cheap as me. I don't know who that cleaner was from. Very underrated ball carrier was Steven Kitshoff. We'll look at it a bit more when we actually look at his URC highlights, but wasn't it wasn't explosive pace, but his work rate. I think that was his big thing, wasn't it? It was his work rate throughout his career that was so good. Yeah, see, Mr. Reliable in defense as well. That sort of right there shows, if anybody wondering why 5 to 12 such a good defense. Oh, there we go. Jack Creel and Steven Kitshoff both on debut there, by the way, making those tackles. And then right up against the end there, again, 5 to Clerk. That, if anybody wants to know why he's so good in defense, those are the moments that 5 to Clerk. And then Jack Creel winning the penalty. It was a good time to be a Lions fan. It really was back in the day. But, I mean, credit to Steven Kitshoff. Solid debut. You couldn't have asked much more, really. Grand penalty, a couple of nice big tackles, a couple of nice carries there as well. And let's have a look, shall we, at his URC career, because that is what he did.
Bounces
he
off
went back
Kieran McDonald.
In the end. And we lifted the URC actually for the Stormers. As I guess that was Ulster. I think it's actually after he came back from Ulster. That's also something. I'm actually going to pause there. Something that I actually haven't mentioned. A couple of videos have been done, or actually did play. He was so good at the breakdown. Like, he was a genuine breakdown threat. You don't often have looseheads as a breakdown threat. He was a triple threat, really. Defensively sound, scrummaging. I mean, scrummaging. Actually, I'm confused. He's actually not in the park there. I'm confused to it's on the Ulster vibes there. So I was looking at the Stormers scrum. I'm like, what's going on here? Why are we watching this guy? Didn't realize they had Ulster guys as well. Maybe didn't have the best of times at Ulster, but once he came back, he was, as I said, a genuine triple threat. Great on the scrummaging, good in the loose, and phenomenal at the breakdown as well. And he had this in him. I actually remember that game against Ulster. He put in a really, you could see he was almost trying to prove a point when they said that they didn't get the best Kitshoff at Ulster. So I think he had something to try and prove there. I mean, it's going to be interesting because, I mean, apart from that, our little silk skills as well. Chiba Diamani, remember those days. This is when Stormers were at their best over here in this sort of team. But as I said, you look at a highlight reel and it's nothing flashy, apart from that little break there. But it's the work rate. Look at the work rate here. Across he gets, bang. Straight back up into the defensive line. Straight over the ball. As I said, his breakdown work for a loosehead was phenomenal. You don't. I mean, I can't actually think of another loosehead in South Africa who's got that kind of breakdown threat. I can't actually. I mean, Bizantaria didn't really do much of the breakdown. I mean, even the current, like Oxen Chair's not exactly a breakdown threat, for example. Gerstinikov's not really a breakdown threat. I can't actually think of any props really, even at the local level, who are as good at the breakdown as Steven Kitshoff was. I mean, when you have Steven Kitshoff, for example, Malcolm Marks on as well, you had two front rowers that you might as well just had like 3 sixes on the park. Because you'd often have them as well as Quacker Smith on the park, for example, or Francois Lowe. And, you then got 3 genuine poachers who can get over that breakdown and win your penalty, steal your ball as well. That's fantastic defending their lines. Love your work. Yeah, another breakdown penalty. I mean, we've seen 3 already. I mean, there are looseheads in the world that will go through their entire career without getting 3 turnovers, and we've seen 3 of them just in his URC days. Interesting how he sort of turned from the bomb squad to sort of starting. I think he was always really a better starter really than a bomb squad member. I think he's such a solid player. I think like Oxen Chair, for example, when he's coming off the bench in that 2023 World Cup, he was winning games by himself. But Steven Kitshoff would just lay down all the groundwork and you just sit there working. I mean, that's turnover number 4 we've watched here. Just really work props over. And by the time something like an Oxen Chair comes on, Steven Kitshoff's really sort of soften them up. And then Oxen Chair will just decimate people. Speak of them, there you go, going toe to toe. That could be a successor as well. Gerstinikov's taking that ball into contact. Interesting what we're going to see from what a tackle that is. Big boost to Phil. I mean, and the nice thing is we've got last depth. So, for example, last year we didn't necessarily miss him from we had nobody else type of point of view because Gerstinikov did a really good job, but I don't think we've got anybody who's got quite the all-round game that he does. That is so good in the loose, as well as a great scrummager, as well as a breakdown threat, as well as the leadership qualities. I think that's also a very underrated part. As this is when they won and they captained into the URC title, and was a key figure I think for the Boks as well. So yeah, I mean, there we go. I mean, lifting that. I think that's probably. And he actually said, funny enough, and this was actually one thing. He bled Stormers. He really did. He said that lifting the URC was up there with lifting the World Cup. He said doing that for the Stormers and the Currie Cup, he said, are up there with his greatest moments. With the World Cup and the likes of that. He genuinely said that, that was some of his best memories was lifting this trophy over here. So Steven Kitshoff, enjoy your retirement. Thank you for the memories. I hope we see somebody similar to you in the future, because then we know that we're producing world-class props. Where does he rank in the South African props? What do you think? Let me know down in the comments below, and we'll see you guys all very soon for another reaction video.